What is good, y'all? It's Ronald Bang, also known as Youcapper from Sportsmemo.com. As you can see, we got a full house tonight. We got Chris, Joey, Austin, and Jay Money in the building. Shout out to you guys for popping in again. This week has been pretty good with having awesome guests here. As far as like sharp cappers, Jay, 3 days in a row. I like it. Chris, Chris, you've been on in previous shows. You've been busy this week, but glad to see you on today. Austin, every Friday. Normally Fridays works best for you. So glad to see you on. And Joey, you're back to back. You were here yesterday. Hopefully we cash again with another game like we did what game was it that we talked about yesterday? The Celtics. So hopefully we continue going in the right direction here. With that said, man, how did you guys do yesterday? Well, I know how you did yesterday, Jay. Chris, how did you do yesterday?
Good. All right. See, I was on the Celtics. I played them first half. That was a pretty easy cash. I know we had talked about that one. And then I was on Ja points yesterday. I thought that, they would keep that game close, Orlando would, and they did. So Ja had to come back in the fourth quarter. Ended up scoring 30, so over 28 and a half cash. Only thing I wasn't right on, RC, was I did take Jokic over his points plus rebounds. Thought that he would, Zubac would be barbecue chicken down there. He just didn't need to be because, that one was over so early. So 2 in 1 day, looking to build on it as always.
Yeah, Austin, how did you do yesterday? Did you go on the Celtics too?
Yeah, I was on the Celtics Mavs over, so I lost that one. But it's been a pretty good New Year so far after a bloody December, man. I'm starting the New Year hot, so it's been pretty good. So hoping to keep building on that momentum there.
Yeah, Joey, how'd you go yesterday?
It was good, man. All that Celtics talk. Gave that shout out to Jay when he dropped off. They were going to take him to Smack City.
Yeah.
And that's
Yes, sir.
Celtics in all ways, man.
Yes, sir. Jay, I know you were on the Celtics. Did you play anything else, or were you just on the Celtics yesterday?
I had Celtics first quarter, first half. I personally put some on Clippers plus a 6, and they got absolutely smoked in that one. I'm glad I didn't tell anybody about that one, my guys.
Yeah.
But pre-game, I still like the bet. We go with what we know. You see what I'm saying? We live with the results.
Yeah, exactly. I like the team total over. They just didn't show up yesterday. Maybe they do today. I don't know, but I don't know if I can get back with them with so many other games on the board here. Mm-hmm. With that said, let's get into this first one. I think a lot of us like this game and have a lot of good angles on it. Joey, Chris, let's start with you here on what do you think about this Bulls Sixers game?
Yeah, RC. So Bulls they've been on the top shelf like the uncomfortable sneakers, man. I haven't not looked to play the Bulls like at all, right? This is not a team that I'm willing to bet against. I bet on them one time, I think, RC. I took their team total over when they went to OKC, and it took overtime for them to cash that game for me. So I can kind of offer the Bulls, but looking at the slate last night, RC, it wasn't a lot that I really liked, even though it was so many games. So taking a deeper dive today, Bulls not being on the list for yesterday, I said, let me look at this Bulls and Sixers game, especially knowing that Embiid wasn't out. And I found that, the Bulls they've been balling lately. See, one thing I looked at was just how they've been playing recently. They're 14th offensively ranked last 5 games, and they're 12th defensively ranked last 5 games. But the thing that kind of jumped out to me, and you brought this up to me, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, RC, the Bulls are 8-2-1 against the spread as away dogs in conference games. Yep. So that's what it is for me, right? Like, you want to take the Bulls when they're dogs. You want to take them in the conference. This is the same Bulls team that we saw get smacked up to the Houston Rockets just last week, right? Houston Rockets come in there after a big win, and beat these guys. So that was one thing I looked at was the 8-2-1 ATS as away dogs in conference games. Also, this team is 3-1 against the spread in a previous home win in which their next game was on the road. So they performed well in that spot. I also got them 4-2-1 playing on their first leg of a back-to-back, so they don't get rattled by these games, when they're on the first leg of a back-to-back. Another angle that I looked at, RC, was looking at the opposite side, the Sixers. They don't have a 5-point win as a home favorite without Embiid so far this season. They're just 1-2 straight up, 0-3 against the spread without Embiid as a home favorite this season. The defensive rating was another big thing that I looked at because the Bulls haven't been playing the greatest defense, even though it's improved recently. With Embiid in, defensive rating 106.6, top 5 in the league. Without Embiid, 118, bottom half of the league. So Bulls plus 4.5. I see official play for me.
Yeah, that's a good look there. This what I brought up here on the screen is Bulls as road dogs in conference games. So you can see like what Chris just mentioned, 6-5 straight up, 8-2-1 against the spread. And you can kind of see that first quarter, they're starting off pretty good in that sense. And if you look at it, this game here that they didn't cover against the Cavs, this is that game where Mitchell went off and they went into OT. So, I mean, they covered, obviously they covered the original spread prior in regulation, but OT is where they got hammered. That was tough, and so their record really could have been a little bit better than what it shows. For the most part, they really do show up against conference opponents. Jay, what are your other? Do you have any other thoughts on this game here?
Yeah, I like the Bulls. I mean, I have to take the Bulls here. I know they lost 12 straight to the Sixers. They're 1-9 against the spread last 10, but without Embiid, and now I must say, 2 of those games in the last 10, Embiid didn't play and the Bulls still didn't get it done. But I just feel something different from this team. Usually they lose versus the top tier teams, but this season they're 8-1 versus the top 4 teams in the East. Oh, they're the Celtics, the Heat, the Bucks, and the Nets. So they're playing hard versus these top tier teams. Obviously, Levine and DeRozan are going to need to go off in this one, but I'm seeing something different. They finding something with Desumno at the point guard. He's a really good defensive guard as well, man. So you saw him block this shot in the last game, man. But regardless, I sprinkled on the money line as well, man. I fully believe the Bulls end the streak today. If you can't end it today, I'm not sure when it'll end. So I know the Sixers have been on them, but I'm willing to buck that trend. Give me I took them last night plus the 5. I like them plus the 4.5, plus the 4, whatever. Like I said, I think they're gonna win the game. So we rocking with the Bulls tonight, my guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this, sorry, let me bring this up a little bit more. If you look at the Sixers at home, right, they've been pretty dominant, 16-5, straight up 15-6 against the spread. But if you account for them playing a conference opponent, they're really the ATS becomes a little bit shorter, right, 58.3%. And if you look at the opponents that they faced, you're not really looking at, especially in more recent games, right? You're looking at the Pistons here, the Hornets. A lot of the more recent games haven't been really against tough opponents. So I could see that this trend here will. I mean, I feel like it's going in the other direction, right? They come hot, 5 straight covers, and now they're starting to fail to cover in certain situations. In my opinion, it's going the opposite direction. I think Bulls are catching them in the right spot here, especially with Embiid out. And just matchup wise, right? Embiid out. It takes away from that mid-range defense, right? They don't got the length to be able to stop DeRozan on in the mid-range game or something like that. But Joey, I know you had some look at this one in the early part of this game as well, right?
Yeah, and bear with my internet here. If it gets choppy, let me know. So, like Jay mentioned, the Sixers have won 12 in a row versus the Bulls. It should be easy, right? Just take Philly and be done with it. Well, what I was looking at specifically was the Bulls in the first quarter in their last 5 games, and this has been against those top Eastern teams like Jay had mentioned. They're 4-1 in the first quarter, and they've played the Nets, the Cavs twice, the Pistons, who I know are not a top team. And the only loss was to Milwaukee in the first quarter, and they eventually ended up winning that game. And then you got the Sixers in the 3 games that they've been a favorite without Joel Embiid. They failed to cover all 3 of those first quarters. Mm-hmm. So I'm seeing that Philly's starting slow in the first quarter, and I see that Chicago seems to get it going early. Like Jay mentioned, if this is not going to be your time to get revenge without Embiid, someone taking away the rebounds from you, you're going to have to go out and punch this team in the mouth early. I've got that plus 4.5 in my pocket with you guys, but I'm also going to be adding on the Bulls plus 1.5 in the first quarter today.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point there. We saw some of the numbers there showing the first quarter advantage. If you look at this one here, road games against conference opponents with a winning record, they're winning those first quarters by an average of 5.5 points or more. So, I mean, that's a good look there. Austin, did you have anything to add before we move on to the next game?
Yeah, I did have some just comments. I had a system here where the Bulls, fading a team off an overtime win. So that's Sixers last game. Mm-hmm. And yeah, my model made it 3 points. I didn't have it on my initial list, but after hearing what y'all have, mainly because of the 76ers, just the home splits, they're just dominant at home, right? So, and the Bulls, they haven't been able to been as trustworthy as lately. But, this great revenge spot. And I was looking at what one of the beat writers for the 76ers said, and they said, Embiid is out again tomorrow versus Chicago. Talked with some people last night and think it's a situation where he'd probably play if there were real stakes, just being cautious in early January. So you can kind of, read between the lines and they're not taking this game as seriously. Whereas, the Bulls losing, what was it, 12 straight against the 76ers, they're going to be a little more fired up.
It's like they got motivation to play, right? I just looked at this one too. The home Sixers at home without Embiid, 1-3 ATS.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
There you go.
Ronald, one more point. My last point on this game, we also have the last 2-minute report as well. And I saw Halliburton tweet about this as well. He said, so it looks like 5 calls went against the Pacers in the last 2 minutes of that injury report, or the last 2-minute injury report. So we also have the dynamic of where maybe the refs the Phillies, the 76ers are lost, and I think the public will be heavy on this team today as well. So all that combined, I'm on the Bulls here today, guys. I do have to get out of here. I'll try to come back. I know I got to do the show. It'll be 30 minutes. This is a long card, and it's for y'all. So y'all might still be on here, man. So
if you pop in, I'll bring you back up. If you pop in, I'll bring you back up.
Appreciate y'all.
I appreciate you
Austin,
jumping in.
Joey, Chris, Ronald, all y'all, man. Let's get this fucking cast today. We will win.
Let's do it.
You're
always bringing the hype and shit. All right, well, let's get into the next one here.
Well, now that you have this up and you got it to the over, like my system, my assisted turnover ratio system. I mean, teams that are on a good streak of assisted turnover ratios over 2, they tend to continue that offensive efficiency and go towards the over. So that's on the 76ers as well. Obviously Embiid being out, like you mentioned earlier, hurts their defense a lot. So
Embiid,
my numbers make it right about 231, but I mean, all that into play. I mean, I think an over could potentially be a look that I dig into a little more.
Yeah, the other thing too, without Embiid, you would assume that they just try to play a faster pace with Harden and Maxey at being the core part of that.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get into our next game here. I think I wrote down Pacers Blazers as the next one here. I didn't have anything on this game at all. I didn't look at it at all yet. So this is gonna be the first time I see this game, as far as from a capping aspect. So who does any of you guys have any looks on this one at the current moment, or are we trying to break this down live?
I got some notes on it, RC, but let's try to break it down live if we could do that.
All right, so we got the Blazers, the second road game here. They are coming off a loss to the Wolves. Was that 7 points as favorites? Damn. All right. Well, a lot of the games have been going under. 5 of the last 4 going under. Pacers on Trailblazers at home. And let's look at them on the road. 14-8 to the under for the most part here. 5 straight losses on the road as well. 5 straight non-covers. Okay, let's look at the Pacers side.
Just the Blazers, they've had a pretty light schedule recently, so I mean they could be a little more.
Are they more rested? Damn, this is like the opposite
in general. Yeah. Blazers, they've only played Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Friday last week. So Pacers look like they definitely the Blazers have the rest advantage here, I think.
From a multi-game perspective.
Yeah, from a multi-game perspective. Yeah.
So the Blazers, Pacers are on the opposite side, right? They're on a winning streak here, so they've covered 5 straight overs as well. Versus the Blazers, they've been going under. So we look at them on the road, and we'll say 8-11, 11-8, 12-7 to the under.
They're home today, I see.
Oh, they are? Okay, sorry, my bad. Oops. Home and home 13-7 straight up, 13-7 ATS, 12-8 to the over. I want to see when a Western Conference team comes over. 5-1 to the over when a Western Conference team comes to Indiana.
One other thing, RC, why you there? Why you still there?
Yeah.
The Blazers they beat this Pacers team earlier this season, 116-110, I think, in Portland, in a game that Tyrese Halliburton didn't play in. So check the revenge factor for the Pacers when they're getting these teams same season and they're at home.
$3-0. So okay, gotcha. Okay. Clippers, Cavs, Nets. So they did have one against a non-conference opponent. Man, that was tight too. All 3 games go over as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Clippers are an over team on the road.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go back to the Blazers real quick. So what
I take back the rest advantage comment over there. I mean, the only difference was that the Pacers played on New Year's Eve and the Blazers played the day before that. So I mean, not a huge rest advantage.
On the rest advantage part, real quick, A-Wing, what I had looked at was the Blazers are 0-5 playing on 1 day's rest their last 5 games.
Mm.
This is a man. I hate when Killer Sports just dies on us. Stupid.
It'll do that. It'll time you out when you try to do too much. It'll be like it'll time you out for a few minutes. I like both teams, man. It's hard for me. I make the spread exactly 1.5 Pacers. Both teams have been exceeding market expectations and have been really fun to watch. So it's really hard for me to pick a side here.
Agreed.
It's a toss-up to me.
It's like they're going in opposite directions. You would want to think that. Well, would you want to try to step in front of the Pacers, or the Blazers, like going in the opposite direction? Like one team is losing and going under, the other team's winning and going over. Do we want to like try to step in front of it? I just don't know.
I say no. I see, because the other thing that's interesting to know, what we're not going to find in the queries and trends I see is I listened to Chauncey and I listened to Dame after that, you know, that upset loss that they had to the Timberwolves, and he talked about the lack of consistency, the lack of professionalism that they've been playing with recently, just not bringing that energy every single night. And so I think it could be it wouldn't surprise me to see a prime bounce back spot for the Blazers in this spot. But it also, Halliburton and the boys just come off the loss against the 76ers, even though they covered that game. They don't play to cover, they play to win. So they're probably a little frustrated. And, that's why I could see it kind of going either way.
Yeah.
Blazers.
It's an interesting angle with the Pacers. I analyzed some trends against like certain metrics. So Pacers, when they play a team with a pace that plays at a slower pace than the league average, they're 17-8 against the spread. Yeah. And so when you look at their fast break points, they're number 1 in fast break points. And then the Blazers are 22nd in opponents' fast break points allowed. So I think there's a little edge there for the Pacers to get out in transition and get some and play fast and take advantage of that.
Gotcha. Maybe we skip this game then and try to go to one that we have a better feel for. I think we do that. Let's do that because I want to make sure we use our time wisely here.
I think Halliburton would be in play in that game. I think that's a.
Is there any injuries to worry about in this one? I mean, look.
Jeremy Grant is listed as questionable. RC, I think he could move the line.
Did he get downgraded or was he questionable already?
He was questionable from the beginning.
He's been awesome this year.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, without him, that's going to impact the game significantly. I think he had 28 points in the first matchup between the two teams too.
Shit, what? They covered both games.
It was the Rockets and the Hornets, though. RC.
Oh, that's true. That is true. All right, there's a big difference there. Okay. Yeah, I think we skip this one. I don't want to waste too much time here if we don't have a really good lean, at least a lean towards it. All right, let's move on to the Knicks Raptors. I really want to get there with the Knicks. I feel like this should be a spot for them here. 21-18 on the season, 20-17 ATS. 3-game winning streak for them here. Failed to cover against the Spurs. Would you think that would have been a look ahead here to a conference game on the road, against another team that's really fighting, like pretty much fighting for the playoffs?
I think the Spurs just got their number. RC, they beat them the week before, right? Like that, both of their last non-covers came to the Spurs. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I don't know how the hell you can justify making Raptors 4-point favorites at the way that they've been playing. They've just been, obviously that awful showing against the Bucks the other night until that fourth quarter barrage there to force it into.
But even that, you're supposed to win that game.
Yeah, exactly. They're 5-point favorites in that game too. I mean, I can't trust the Raptors at this point. There's something going on with them. You know, their offense has just not been clicking. Yeah, they can hold their own on the defensive end. So like with this game, I was looking towards the under. Both teams, strong defensive teams, slow paced teams. The Raptors offense has been struggling. The Knicks they've looked good, but they've also been playing some pretty poor defensive teams. They played the Spurs twice. That flew over the total. What they played, who else did they play recently that went over that? That was also not a good defensive team as well. So I think, when they play the Raptors, I think it's just going to be a low scoring game. I make this around 216, 217. So I think there's still some a room there for the under.
Yeah, the under looks pretty solid here. I mean, we're just looking right now. I'm just looking at the Knicks as road dogs, 7-7 straight up, 9-5 ATS, 8-5-1 to the under. You can see the average here, 222.5. But I think a lot of these totals were up there, so we're seeing like 230s, to upper 220s. One thing I wanted to look at is against teams with a win percentage of 50 or less. 5-2 ATS in this spot here. For the most part, they're really, I think they're doing a good job here on the short lines, winning and covering in these spots here. I feel like they're pretty similar. I mean, you wanna look at the Bulls here. I would say they would be in a similar tier as far as the Raptors. Nets and Grizzlies, I would say they're top tier. They even beat the Sixers here in Philly. But that's earlier in the season, though. And the Warriors here, I don't know. This was on the road, and the Warriors at home are pretty good as well. So I would expect a loss there. Going from New York, maybe if they went from New York to visit them and go visit the Warriors. So I think these losses make sense, and these wins make sense too. I just feel like this is a spot here that the Knicks should be able to take care of business.
I see. Real quick, one more thing to add. That we remember a few weeks ago. It was the Toronto Raptors who came into New York and ended this win streak for the Knicks. Remember they had that win streak going on?
Yeah.
So if you look at the Knicks, I go back to it again, same season, revenge of same season losses I see on the road.
Yeah.
Take a look at that.
Yep, revenge spot right there.
Mm-hmm.
Under. So real quick before I move, because I was on the Raptors side. So before I go back to the Knicks, I wanted to look at how the Raptors do against teams that they already beat. And then at home here, they're only averaging 100 points per game in a 3-game sample size. They beat the Heat here. Only put up 100 against the Cavs, who play really good defense. Raptors only put up 90 against the Sixers. I would say the Knicks are really playing a slower pace and pretty good defense as well as of late. And if we go back to just home in general, it looks like their current form at home isn't as good, especially as favorites. Isn't as good as it was earlier on in the season, right? We're seeing a whole bunch of wins here earlier on in the season. Now we're seeing 4 of the last 5 losses and 4 of the last 5 non-covers. So it seems like they're kind of trending in the wrong direction as home favorites. So let's go back to the Knicks now. You said Knicks as in revenge situations?
Yeah, on the road specifically, RZ.
All right, so 6-3 straight up, 6-2-1 ATS in revenge, and then if we go on the road, 2-0 ATS, 2-0 to the over. So they're covering these spots here. Even though they lost this, they covered by the hook of 5.5, 3.5 here. I would say the Mavs are a better team than the Raptors, in my opinion. So you would expect that line to be where it is. They did cover. I feel like, man, wouldn't the
Can't
Knicks
talk you off, RZ. Can't talk you off the Knicks, bro. I'm with you.
Yeah, I would say it would be the Knicks or nothing here. Ski drop something here. Let's see if we could get it. Season 2013.
While you type that, you've also got the same angle for when I took the Suns versus the Cavs and when we took the Celtics yesterday. The Raptors had to come all the way back from one of those like 20-point deficits, and they were supposed to win that game if you come back like that. So
see, I don't want to see this, Ski.
Another angle with all that energy exerted. So
yeah,
I can only look at the Knicks.
I mean, I just don't get the line. I think it's fishy that the Raptors are favored by this much, given the recent performance.
Their current form.
I'm like, well, what the hell? Like, is there like some Brunson news that we don't know about that's not public yet? I mean, it just seems fishy to me. That's all it is. But I mean, I'm on the Knicks here. Knicks or nothing for me. So
that's a good point. Let's look at the short lines in this one. Okay. I can still only look towards the Knicks here, because even this points towards the Raptors, we're seeing a huge sample size here that's saying that the average is about right on point, pretty much 3.3. There's 3.5 today, especially on these shorter lines.
RC, I think another angle to look at it is that, kind of going back to the Bulls angle, Jay talked about it. I think sometimes these lines are, what's cooked into these lines is recent matchups, like how these teams have played against each other recently over the past years, right? Because we see the Sixers as a favorite without Embiid at home, and not even like a 1-point favorite, but a 4-point favorite. So looking at the Knicks, against the Raptors just since 2020, they're only 3-5 against the spread, 3-5. Straight up as well, and they failed to cover 3 of the last 4 spreads dating back to last season, and 4 of the last 5 games. So they haven't covered 4 of the last 5 games, ATS or straight up. So that could be baked into the line as well.
Yeah, no, that's a good point there. I can only look towards the Knicks in this one. That's still the only way that I could go.
That is a good point. I'm looking back even towards 2015, man. The Raptors are 21-5 straight up against the Knicks. They just dominated this matchup.
What is it, ATS?
Okay, so 16-9 ATS. The Raptors are against the Knicks since 2015. But man,
I feel like they're different. I feel like Knicks are. I mean, especially with the addition of Brunson, they should be a little bit different than they are in the previous years. Raptors.
Okay, so on the road, check it out. On the road, the Knicks have lost 11 in a row to the Raptors.
I'm seeing that now too, Austin. That's exactly what it is, right?
That's what it is. The Raptors just have the Knicks number, like so.
In Toronto, yeah, that's crazy.
It's nuts.
Shit. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, these teams, totally different over the years.
Get out of here, Ski.
It's just
all right. I'm gonna lay off. You guys got it.
It's a fun and interesting stat. I don't know how much stock I would put.
I'm just saying though, like they're a different team
in 2016 to now, but it is an interesting stat nonetheless.
I'm gonna still keep that in my pocket. I'm still leaning that way.
Just put that Knicks first half in your pocket, RC.
I was about to say,
just
take the first half though. Don't play the full game with the Knicks. Get in and get out.
All right, we'll figure it out. I'll see what I do.
Yeah.
All right, so next. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go to
Ski in the comment section.
yeah. Keep talking. All right.
That's letting me know.
Oh shit, I didn't even change the freaking banner on it. All right, so Heat Suns. Heat Suns. All right. I think this was you, Austin. What were your thoughts on this one here? I didn't look at this game yet either at all.
I like the under for obvious reasons, the Phoenix Suns offense, but I took the under last night at 217, so it's at 214 now. Not so much of an edge there, so not something I'm keen on giving out. But I had an interesting angle. The Miami first quarter, so they just got off a back-to-back road game in LA where they faced the Clippers and the Lakers, and I wanted to just look at the angle on that in the past, like how do teams do on a road trip after they face the 2 LA teams. And let me pull it up real quick. They're 7-21 against the spread when they're road favorites after they have that back-to-back road trip in LA. So it's a good spot to stay.
Does it matter who they face first, or it's
either or.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just so basically they just spend an extended time in Los Angeles, partying up, having a good time over there, and then tend to struggle the following game. But interestingly enough, they have the first quarter margin in those games favored that team. So they came out strong and then they tapered off towards the end. The fatigue factor hit. So Miami being a better first quarter team than they are full game. And with the Suns coming out really slow recently, they've been playing from behind. Their offense is really struggling without Devin Booker. I was looking at a Miami first quarter angle here.
So I just brought up something that I don't know even know if you looked at this, but so Suns at home as home dogs, minus 8-point gap in that first quarter, so that kind of supports you there.
Yeah.
Is it primarily? Is there anything that backs the Heat to cover in that first quarter, or is it like more of a fade of the?
Well, just comparing their first quarter splits versus their full game splits, they just perform better in the first quarter than they do at the end of the game. They're 14-23 against the spread for the full game, but their first quarter ATS, they're like, let me pull up the exact numbers real quick. Yeah, 20-18 against the spread in the first quarter. So pretty wide margin.
Like the total opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Suns aren't a bad first quarter team either, but without Booker, they've been getting off to really slow starts and having to play from behind. So I like the Heat early in the spot. I'm gonna continue to fade the Suns.
Did anyone else have a look on this one?
LJ from H-Town dropped a good stat in there. Heat 11-5 in the first half, their last 16.
Straight up?
Straight up, yeah.
14-5 to the. Oh, I'm looking at the Heat are 11-5 straight up in last 16 first. Was that first half?
First half, yeah, he said.
First half at home. 14-5 to the under. First half at home. 0-4 versus Southeast Division. Shout out to LJ. So looking at Suns without Devin Booker. Yeah, they're not starting these first quarters off strong at all. So 2-8 straight up, 3-7 ATS, 6-4 to the under. What's the total today for this game?
Opened at 220. Is that right, Austin? Or did it?
Well, it was 217. I grabbed it at 217 last night, and then last time I checked, it was 214.
Yeah, 214.
Wrong game, yeah. And I think to kind of support what Austin was saying on the under RC is the only way I would look. I think still now, I still look towards the under, even at the 214.5 number, just because the eye test tells me that the Phoenix Suns. They really fought hard in that game against the Cleveland Cavaliers the other day. They really tried to win that game after getting smacked up and not showing up against the Knicks earlier this week. So I think coming home for them, this should be a spot where they, put forth some effort because it's not like they won. And typically when the Suns don't win a game and they really try to win in the following game, they typically bring a lot on the defensive end. The Heat are also coming off an embarrassing loss without LeBron James to the Los Angeles Lakers. So I see a lot of defense being played in this game.
What do you guys think about either the first quarter under or maybe even the Suns team total under first half? Because if I'm looking at this correctly, they're under 50 points in the first half without Devin Booker averaging, and then the first half team total I believe is I just had it up.
54.5 is what 54, I see.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good chunk of value there to the team total under, right? You would expect.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Yeah, I can't argue with that at all. I see. Based on that career you just had, it looks like they're scoring more points in the second half than the first half too. I see. So that under for the first half looks.
And then we say it's non-conference. They're getting smacked, dude. 0-5 straight up. 1-4 ATS, 4-1.
Only scoring 45 points in the first half?
Yeah, 45, 46. Bruh.
Solid. That's solid.
So what would we say? Well, there's so many ways to look at this right now. You could take heat, right? You could take heat spread. You could take the game under, or do we just focus on how they struggle without Devin Booker?
I think you do a little bit of all of it, RC. Based on what you just said, to me, it sounds like I just played the team total under for the first half specifically. 54.5 seems like a really high number without Devin Booker. You get a Heat team that's going to be fired up because they just lost to the Lakers. So they're not. It's not like they're going to overlook, the Miami this
first half
this Phoenix Suns team coming. Yeah, I think it's also last game of a road trip for them too, I see.
So we would say first half team total under.
I like
that would be the way to go. I like it.
I'm writing that down.
What do you think, Joey, Austin? What do you guys think?
I mean, I can't argue with that. I'm sticking with my Miami first quarter. I like that angle quite a bit. But yeah, I rock with y'all with the team total, first half team total under.
Man, it's all correlated. I mean, the first half, first quarter, all that stuff. Everything that even what LJ is saying in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Anything else to add on this one, guys? No? All right. So we got that one down, that one down, that one down, that one down. What about Nuggets Cavs? Did you guys have anything on Nuggets Cavs?
Yeah, RC. So I hadn't fully completed capping this one. If you want to, let's go through this one together. Because one interesting thing I think to note is if you look at the Cavs, I mean, you can look at the Nuggets. I think they are over. Right. Yeah, 4-0 to the over. 4-0 to the over, playing on no days rest. But if you look at this Cavs team, RC, on the West Coast, when they're playing non-conference games as away dogs, they're not scoring a lot of points at all.
So we just say road non-conference 2-4 straight up, 2-4 ATS, 3-3 over under, 111.3 average, allowing 109, and then you said as dog specifically,
right?
1-1, 1-1, 2-0. Oh, it's like the opposite again. So
right,
we're seeing the unders here.
Right. So 98 points is what they're averaging in this spot. See, you take away Donovan Mitchell, who's not going to be active in this game. Donovan Mitchell accounts for 32%, I think is what I saw, of their offense. 32% of their offense on the road in road games. I think it's going to be hard for this team to score points today against the Denver Nuggets, specifically at home, even though they are on the second night of a back-to-back. But the question that I had, RC, is do we take the Cavs team total under or do we take the Nuggets team total over? Because they can score.
Yep. Damn. All right, so let's look at that. All right, so a lot of things are pointing towards at least Cleveland under team total, right? We would say they're going to struggle offensively. Is Garland out too, or just Mitchell?
Garland's questionable.
All right, let's just look at this.
So that's key. You got to wait for that.
Yeah.
Garland, it'll be his first game back, and his role splits are absolutely atrocious. So you could pull that up on Stat as well. Like, this dude has not been performing on the road at all.
Oh, man, what the fuck? How they cover? Oh, well, it was the Pistons. Well,
Nuggets are barely on a back-to-back, too.
Yeah, because they didn't play heavy minutes, right?
They only had to play 1 half.
Nobody in that starting lineup played more than 29 minutes yesterday, and that was only KCP. Jokic played 24.
So they put 126, 131, 122. They struggled here in this spot on the road. They're at home. I mean, none of these teams here are defensive teams, though. Under. They allowed a lot of points.
But look at home specifically, I see.
Yeah,
because their defense doesn't show up on the road as much as it does at home. The letdown component for me too, RC, is that them knowing that Donovan Mitchell isn't there, coming off a big win against the Clippers yesterday, they may not look to play as much defense as they did yesterday. So that's why I kind of started to pivot towards their team total over. I think Jamal Murray's going to play on the second night of a back-to-back. Michael Porter Jr. I think is also in. And Jokic is still being there, that being the primary thing.
That's true. You bring up such a good point, man. When the teams opposing teams' best players out, you always see like a little letdown. They don't play as hard on the other side, knowing that hey, we don't need to play as hard because their best players out. So yeah, it could be a letdown spot. I thought the number was too high with the Nuggets, even with Donovan Mitchell, but I wasn't keen on backing the Cavs either. But when y'all mentioned the team total under in the Cavs, that made a lot of sense. That made a lot of sense to me. Especially with Darius Garland being his first game back, Donovan Mitchell out. I mean, who's going to score them? They're going to have, especially if Garland is ruled out, who Karis LeVert is
right, and who else, right?
Exactly.
So I just brought up Nuggets after they won by 20. Just trying to see if there would be a letdown here. 0-3 ATS, average margin minus 1.67. So they beat the Spurs, but failed to cover as 7.5 point favorites. Shit, even without Garland and without Mitchell, as long as they have Garland, they would still be better than the Spurs. In my opinion, that's my thought. They beat the Hawks. Sorry, they lost to the Hawks. They lost to the Knicks at home.
What I think is go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, are we thinking that? So we don't want to go with the spread because of who they have on the court. Are we just focusing in on if they're able to limit Cleveland? Is that what we're thinking?
Or if Cleveland's going to come out and turn the ball over because they don't have a Garland or Donovan Mitchell in this spot, then Denver's going to get out and they have a bunch of scores. So I think also what's important to look at, RC, is how the Nuggets have played recently, with their full roster intact, right? Because, guys like Michael Porter Jr. missed extensive time earlier. Same thing with Jamal Murray. But when they have like a full, healthy lineup, it's really, really difficult to slow this team down. I think that's indicative of what we saw last night against the Clippers.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Grizzlies last week. Like they smacked the Grizzlies as well. Like this team's just scoring a lot of points in that spot.
Just being at home, they would win. I don't know. They look like they're on a mission right now, especially at home. You see it the most.
So they won 9 straight at home. 6.5. Damn, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. On the second of back-to-back, home, just won 122.
RC, look at this. Look at the Nuggets after a previous home win when their next game is also at home.
I'm kind of liking the under full game under as we talk through it even more. Just with the Cavs, they're going to struggle on offense, but they got two big men that can throw at Jokic. The Nuggets, I know they're 4-0 to the over on the second game of a back-to-back, but like you said, being the Clippers by so much, just a letdown spot for them. I don't know. I think there's a good case for the under in general.
Yeah, I have that marked down on one of my systems. Nuggets, Cavs under. So a lot of it is pointing to it. 229 seems like a high total. I think it has to do with how efficient the Nuggets offense has been lately. But yeah, it has to be a letdown here because, like I said earlier, equals to 20. If we do that, what happened? Oh, there you go. If we do this, we're seeing them struggle offensively for the most part. And if we look at 229, I think none of these reached 229. Even the one that went over just by a point or by the hook, basically.
That total's dropped 8 points already, RC. It's 221 right now.
What the? Why are they so late?
Like 229. I would love to hop.
Yeah, right. I was like 229.
I was talking to Austin last night. I was like, man, I'm asleep. I took NyQuil, man. I'm not feeling well, so I took NyQuil at like what was it, like 9 o'clock, dude?
Yeah, 9 o'clock. Yeah,
I was out, bro. And then I didn't wake up until like 8:30. So a lot of these things I'm seeing for the first time.
I have a couple of systems on the under here. Factoring in the Mitchell absence, I make it like I make it 217. It's just in general tough betting unders lately. With just overs have just.
Fuck, that's a lot of points that it's moved though. That's the thing.
But I don't know. I think it goes under. I think we start seeing that correction pretty soon here.
I'm with you now. So we're gonna make a lot of money on these unders here soon. So this team start to lock in before the market readjusts. We're gonna make a lot of money on the unders.
Exactly.
What is the team total for the Nuggets?
113.5 RC.
Fuck, these are all low now. It's hard to go in on it when the line has moved so much.
Mm-hmm.
What did yeah. What are your guys' thoughts? What would you do on this one? I think I'm gonna lay off. It just moves way too much.
I might get there with the under. I might go with the Cavs team total under, like y'all were mentioning. But yeah, nothing that I've firm, made a decision on just yet. But I think I might get there with the under.
I think we wait for the Garland news. If Garland comes in, then the total probably goes up just a tad bit. Then we take the under. Yeah, because Garland will be his first game back, right? Like
right, absolutely right.
Yeah, if you go in and look, RC, like I talked about it earlier, his home road splits are absolutely atrocious. We know Donovan Mitchell isn't going to be a part of the game today, so only two primary ball handlers, him and Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert is more of a scorer than a actual facilitator. And the Cavs have struggled to score the ball, especially as dogs, whether they're home or on the road. So I think we wait for them to get ruled in and wait for the total to go up, and then we take the team total under or the full game under, like Austin said.
I love that.
That's a good point. So wait on the news for Garland. All right, yeah, Garland.
I gotta hop off pretty soon here.
Yeah, I got you. Did we talk about? We already talked about the one that you liked, right? The Heat Suns or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. What else is there? Hawks Lakers. I think that's another one. I wanted to get there with the Hawks.
All right, I'm gonna hop off later, guys.
All right, Austin. Thanks for coming through.
Good luck.
Did you guys have anything on this one yet, or did you guys look at this game yet?
I'm interested in the Hawks with you guys as well. I see it went up 0.5 point in their favor.
Didn't touch it at all, RC. Real quick, before we wrap up the other one, RC, I do want to say that 42 minutes ago, we got reports from the beat writers that Darius Garland is there at shoot around in Denver this morning, putting up some shots, but his thumb is still wrapped. So just for the audience.
Good look there. Thanks for letting us know. Yeah, because obviously his news is going to move the line a lot. You would think that the reason why it went down this much is probably because they think that both are going to sit. So if he shows up, even if it's wrapped, they're probably just testing it out.
Agree. Zach, thoughts, RC?
What is the angle? So the last time that the Hawks and Lakers played, the total was 245.5, I think. Now it's 242. So you got and they went over the first game. So it was 245. They went over.
Damn, that went up a lot.
And now it dropped a few.
It went back down? Oh, yeah, sorry. Never mind.
No, I'm saying
it went down.
On LeBron's birthday, the total was 245.5. Game went over. Now today they got that line at 242. So they took it down.
Who's out? Reeves is out, right?
Reeves is out. Lonnie Walker is already ruled out. They both out for the next 2 weeks.
All right, that might be what. And LeBron's not officially in yet, I don't think.
He's probable.
Yeah.
So we have, and then on the other side, it's Clint Capella possibly coming back.
That's the news. I don't know. I can look it up.
No, so yesterday it said won't play Friday, but now he's questionable. All right. Well, Russell Westbrook is probable. LeBron is probable. No AD, no Lonnie Walker, no Troy Brown, no Austin Reeves. I mean,
I guess that's where a few points go.
All right, well, let's look at this. So, P total minus total is, let's just say greater than or equal to this. Let's just say 7 points. And When it shifts 7 points down, it would go towards the under for the most part. What's the total today?
242 right now. It's a 3.5 point difference from the first game.
Man, why is this? These numbers are so off. So it's 242. All right. Why do they have it at 234? Whatever. All right, so let's just go into this one. Hawks. That's why we need Killer Sports back. Chris, could you hop on Killer Sports to see when if it starts running?
Yeah. Let me check. I know I checked right before and it wasn't working. I was trying to get on when you was trying to.
Oh, really? Joey 6-0 to the over as road favorites. They're what 2.5 favorites today.
2.5 point favorites. Yeah,
that's probably why.
It makes sense. They don't play defense.
Yeah,
they can score lights out.
Mm-hmm.
They're warming up in UCLA gym right now. If anyone was interested, they're in the UCLA court.
The Hawks.
The Hawks are, yeah. I was just trying to look at it. I was trying to find Capella news.
To the under though, 4-2 straight up. They're on the road. 2 games on the under. What? 240. 4-2 straight up. So we're just asking them to win the game. They're not covering these games as favorites, but they won the game but didn't cover. All right. So
wait, did we? I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
We said Capella was questionable.
Well, yesterday said he's not playing, and then today he's not out. Like it doesn't say out; it says GTD.
I'm seeing one of their beat writers say they ruled him out. So Lakers.
They ruled him out yesterday, or was that today? Oh man, he froze.
He out, RC. What I got?
He's officially out. He's officially out. Okay.
18 hours ago, he was listed as out by Underdog.
Thomas Bryant double makes sense.
Make a lot of sense. He had one in the last game when these two teams played the other day in Atlanta on Braun's birthday.
Let's see, home dogs.
RC, some support. What I was just looking at was the Lakers next rest equals 0 and they're home because they do play tomorrow.
2 straight up, 2-3 ATS, 4-1 to the under. They're at home for the current game. Are they on the road next?
Let's see.
Or are they playing home again?
I want to say it's home. Let me check and make sure.
Atlanta or LA?
LA. To the under.
They're going on the road to Sacramento tomorrow.
It's not too far away. Still travel though.
Is it a look ahead spot? How'd they do versus the Kings this year?
Probably got smacked.
Yeah, I lost by 14 last game.
Dog. Uh, 0-1. Lost to the Cavs. 5.5 point dogs. Damn, they're 2.5 today, huh? I can only look towards the Hawks, dude. That's the only way that I can look.
Same. I know Jay feels strongly about them.
Hawks. Lakers at home.
I didn't put too much research in this one, RC, so I'm just listening.
Yeah, no, I mean that's why I'm quiet because this is the first time I'm seeing everything. I'm just kind of reading into everything. So home we got the Hawks. Heat. They beat the Heat
with no Bron.
Yeah, no Bron. Oh shit.
That was the first game back home off the East Coast trip, RC, because no, it wasn't. They had no, that was the first game because they you just looking at home, but I'm thinking that's in order, but they beat Charlotte, remember? So I think it was on a 2-game win streak. Yeah.
Who's gonna get the minutes today, Chris?
As far as
like how are the Lakers gonna run and gun with Atlanta today?
I think it's gonna be a lot of Westbrook. I think he played good in that last game. I think he has to step up, especially with no Austin Reeves. And then you're gonna be
no shooters, no Austin Reeves, no Lonnie Walker. Who's gonna shoot three?
Troy Brown Jr., Patrick Beverly.
Troy Brown is out.
Troy Brown Jr. is out.
Patrick Beverly,
right? I think I just saw Troy Brown is out. Yeah, Troy Brown is out. They got no shooters, dude. There's like no 3-point shooters. There's no way. There's no way. Like cumulatively, I think there's just too much missing for the Hawks. I mean, for the Lakers.
For the Lakers.
Yeah. And then one thing you just mentioned a good point because I forgot who was on the show, but they mentioned a while ago. They said that one of the coaches mentioned like travel fatigue, and they said when they go from one side of the country to the other, they don't feel it on that first game. It's actually the next game after. It might have been you, Chris. I don't know if it was you, but that was a good point.
I didn't say that. So I said the point, but I didn't know that though.
Yeah. So then this will be the second game at home for the Lakers off the trip. So that's a good point there too as well.
How would we query that, RC?
Shit, I don't know.
Of course you do. Previous
away. Let's figure it out.
Away.
Yeah. All right, so let's do. All right, so
let's
we
do
got
three road games and then second game back home.
PA. All right, so we're saying conference equals Western. First, we'll say we're Western Conference.
Okay.
And then we say we're at home, and the last game was at home, and the previous game was away, and the previous opponent conference equals Eastern. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right, wait, hold on. PPO conference. Conference. What am I missing here?
I don't think you missing anything.
Oh, you know what? I think Spodevs don't have conference. There you go. Fuck. That's not what we want to see. That is not what we want to see, guys. All right, so
what if you take the conference out, RC? What if the conference don't matter?
Or just say second home game off.
Yeah, second home game after let's say a couple road games. Like at least
that out.
Damn.
Nah, fuck. I don't want to see that. All right, so, yeah.
Okay.
All right, fuck it. I don't know, man. I don't know.
The Hawks haven't been starting out good in first quarters. They're 16-20 on the year. Lakers are, what are they?
The fuck is this? That's not even right.
17-20. It's tough. I might watch it live and hope that Atlanta goes down a little bit early.
This is not even right, guys. Like, hold on. Didn't they have at least two road games?
Yeah, they had a lot of road games in a row.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I don't know if they marked the previous one as a road game. Let's look at Lakers. Did they face the Hawks at home? No, they didn't face the Hawks at home. Didn't they face the Hawks
on the road? Yeah. That's been like that for a couple days. RC, I feel like Give Me the Dog's been like listing the home road incorrectly.
Man, that's trash.
Go back to Killer Sports RC. See if I think it might be active now.
Oops. Shit. Damn it.
No,
it's kind of slow. All right, well, I don't know if I'm gonna get there with the Hawks and that travel thing that we thought did not work out as planned.
I'm personally going to be watching it. Wait for a live opportunity. I think.
Yeah, I didn't cap it
just
either.
The trend doesn't make sense, but I think the play makes sense in my opinion.
Yeah.
So this
it's that
might
balance
be
of both, RC.
Exactly. Yeah. We talked about that a lot.
Yeah. Another thing, RC, real quick. I know you like to look at teams that faced the Warriors, right? We were talking about that trend earlier. The team that faced the Warriors before. Yeah. When the Lakers play the Kings next, they are 0-2 straight up and against the spread so far this season. They've lost both of those games and failed to cover both of them.
Have they played the Kings already?
Yeah.
Played them twice. Lost at 14.
Fuck.
The Hawks just beat the Kings too. They snapped their losing streak versus Sacramento.
And they lost them twice.
Mm-hmm.
You would think they're focusing on their revenge. So you're saying this a look ahead.
Right. I mean, the Kings kind of own us right now, RC. Like, you know what I mean? And you who you going to play hard? Is Bron going to try to save something for tomorrow against the conference opponent? Or does he leave it all on the line tonight against Atlanta, a team that we beat already? Not like the Lakers don't need to stack up wins either way, but you know what I mean? If you were going to come for one, which one would it be?
Yeah, no, I got you. I would say it's a look ahead then, in my opinion. I'm going to go with the Hawks.
If the Lakers win tonight, RC, then you smash the Kings tomorrow. But if the Lakers lose tonight, maybe they save something for the Kings tomorrow.
Yeah. No, that's right. I'm going to go with the Hawks. I think my system likes it. And I know some of the trends don't follow, but this is just a spot play where I feel like the Hawks should take advantage of.
Right. You always tell me, RC, that you're gonna find trends to back the other side either way too, right? So you just got to go with what you feel the most confident in based on
just like exactly, just like the other day. I think Joey was in here, but when Jay came on and he gave plays on, I think it might have been like the Suns and some other team, maybe the Magic or something. Every trend I was pulling was the opposite of what he said, but everything that he was saying as far as like the spot, it made sense as far as why he would play that way.
I think that's important for the viewers to know, RC, because I mean we do look at a lot of trends, you know what I mean, but it's not all trends, right? We do our due diligence to try to come up with the best plays, but it's not always going to be backed by trends. You know, we use them a lot, but not always.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, well, I think we've gone through a lot today. Can we afford to look at? Man, I don't even know. You know what? They're like, you're right to some extent, but then like the other piece is if the Kings had their number, they would probably. I mean, not even thinking about like playoffs, like if you can make the playoffs or not. It's more so you want to get the revenge factor in play, right? Because I feel like mentally they were like, man, fuck these Kings, you know, like they came in and took care of us twice in a row already. They don't care about the to me, I don't feel like they wouldn't care about the Hawks coming into town. I mean, it's probably not a strong look ahead, but it's a look ahead nonetheless.
Yeah. I see another real quick look is Bron PRA's over again. I mean, he just played this Atlanta team in Atlanta. Like he went off for his birthday. They don't have Clint Capella, which is lack of rim protection, and it's going to be a fast-paced game. We're expecting a lot of points, so I think Bron probably goes over his PRA again today.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, especially with everyone out. Like,
I mean, who's going to do it? I see, like.
But what about just points instead? Because I mean, who's he going to pass to in the perimeter to shoot threes at this point with no Reeves and no Walker? No Brown. Maybe we look at points and rebounds instead.
Points plus rebounds, yeah.
Yeah, because if we add the assists, I think we lose value. Like, who is he going to pass to? That might be maybe it's points and rebounds. All right. Well, I think we've been over an hour now. Joey? Anything else to add to this game before we cut out?
No, I let you guys. I don't think Lakers have the weapons to compete today.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't think so either. With everyone, all the shooters out.
I'm sorry, my internet's on life alert.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. All right. With that said, let's go into the recap real quick. Joey, drop what you think. What would be your official plays for today's show or anything like that?
Yeah, today I'm gonna be on the Bulls first quarter. Just again, Bulls are 4-1 their last 5. Sixers have failed to cover a first quarter as favorites with no Embiid, and I also like that Bulls plus 4.5 with you guys. So
Bulls full game too.
Bulls first quarter, Bulls full game.
Like it. I like it. Chris, what about you, man?
Yeah, Bulls full game for me. I see plus the 4.5. Really like that spot a lot, man. I'm already put that one in. RC gave it out officially. Played that one. Only thing that I've locked in already so far is the plus 4.5 for Chicago. And then I'm gonna be trying to find some player props. RC not really trying to force a lot of these spreads. I feel like we do have some really close numbers, some things that we can, even the stuff that we cap. Where ball could kind of fall either way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's only official play for me right now, but I'm gonna get there on a few player props because it is some things that I'm looking at that I haven't completely capped yet.
Yeah. Do you guys remember Austin's plays by chance? I forgot to write them down.
He's on the Suns and the Heat under.
Suns,
did he say under? Oh, he said first quarter.
It was under.
He got the under, but he couldn't give out the new line. He said,
That's what it was. 217 and 214. Yeah.
Then he liked the Heat first quarter.
First quarter, yeah.
Okay. Well, I also like the Bulls full game. And then some of the things that we were looking at that I want to continue to figure out if I want to play it or not is the Suns team total under first half. And then the Hawks on the spread here, minus 2.5. I think Jay only had the full game on the Bulls, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Jay only had the full game. Okay. Yeah, that's the only way that I could look. I know we took a whole hour to go through some of these games, but I think really the point of it was to just continue to just show how we look at these games. And sometimes you can spend 30 minutes on a game and not have a play on it, but you really got to do your due diligence and make sure you try to pick your games with the most I guess being able to have Chris, Joey, Jay and Austin in here, like just hearing other angles. You just want to make sure you hear everybody's take. I mean, I think Chris, you talk about this too. I talk about this is like do your due diligence first before you listen to others. I didn't have the time to, right? So for me, to listen to you guys, it helped a lot. But I was also thinking in my head, what do I normally do in this process? So a lot of things are just kind of taking in information. Hopefully you guys do make your choices off of what we say. A lot of these things are facts, not just opinions. So like I said, at the end of every show, whether you fade us or follow us, it's on you to make that call. It really is. And that's the way that we want to close this out here. Anything to promote before we cut out though, guys?
Nah, nothing for me, RC. Show at 5:15 as always. The Crispy Cap and NBA show. Be going over some official plays there. Yeah, probably have a few more player props, and then that's it, man. Chalkboard link, RC, right there. I dropped I dropped the job play yesterday. Yeah, I dropped the job points yesterday in that cash. So good to get back in the chalkboard. Try to probably drop another one today. Try to be more active in there for sure.
Yeah, I gotta get in there as well. With that said, guys, like I said, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button before you bounce. Check out the links in the description down low as well. Shout out to Chris and Joey, and then also Jay and Austin who popped in earlier as well. Like I said, always end the show with this. Whether you fade us or follow us, it is on you to make that call. Good luck with all your action. Till next time, peace.